Ready?
Let's go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Oh, we're over here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Welcome to Microscopy Live Insect Edition this time.
Yes.
We're very excited. Just a few admin things beforehand. So obviously we have giveaways now because we are gladly working in partnership with Joel. So we just want to quickly announce last month's winner, who is drumroll,
Susan Girdwood. So we will be dropping you an email to get all your contact details, and we'll be sending off last month's prize. Really good. As always.
So yeah,
this month's prize in partnership with Joel UK. We've got a load of their stuff. So as always, we've got one of our tote bags, and we have our PMC lens cloth with an image created by Lorelei.
mine, very proud.
Personalised.
Oh yeah.
That's our flyer.
Flyers.
Got our Joel water bottle.
Very good. Very
always,
hand size.
We have this week Joel sticky notes, which I can confirm they are sticky. We have a Joel webcam cover,
Very,
which
very
is pretty
handy.
good. I use mine quite a lot.
Yeah, I use mine all the time.
Yep. PMC pencils and can't get out of the bag.
This stuff.
PMC notebook.
Very handy.
So as always, the quiz will be sent around after the session as part of the summary booklet. It's just a little Google form. So fill it out with a chance to win, and the winner will be announced next month, which is last Friday of June.
24th of June.
I'm glad that you know. I'm very glad you know.
Yeah, I've been creating the website this week. So yeah, 24th of June, we will be looking at leaves because obviously spring is nearly behind us now. And as there are leaves growing on the trees, obviously
Time for to continue our bioplant
yeah.
summer series.
Yeah, we're being very bio-heavy at the moment, which as two geologists we're learning a lot. It's a lot of fun.
We are learning.
So yeah, just disclaimer, we have done a bit of research and I've got some diagrams here, but if we make mistakes or stuff, just remember we are human. So, and if anybody knows the stuff more about than what we're saying, just please drop it in the chat or have a chat or unmute yourself, because we're here, it's interactive. The more everybody learns, the better. So yeah. So just briefly, quick. So one of our samples today is from a company called Pollenize that is in Plymouth that are working really, really hardly to kind of reintroduce pollinators and insects into the urban environments, especially bees, moths, and butterflies. So they're a really cool company. We work with them a lot, and it's fun. So we've got one of their samples in today, which should be very exciting.
It's a very kind donation.
Yes.
Naturally, as you'd think.
Yeah, thank you, Nat, for putting the link in there. Yeah, they're a really, really great company.
Yeah.
They're very nice.
So naturally, being allowed remarkably few insects flying around in here, so we have to outsource a little bit.
Yes.
But like Lorelei said, we've worked with Pollenize a lot. We really like working with them, and they're very kindly given us a range of moths mostly.
Yeah, we're looking at moths today, and then another sample which isn't from Pollenize, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
So shall we get started?
So as always, if you have any questions, just plop them in the chat
or unmute yourself if you feel comfortable.
We're back on our Joel NeoScope. That's our little benchtop SEM.
This thing here that you can kind of see in our video.
Yeah.
And now on your screen is the screen.
So back in our user interface, this little benchtop, it's very powerful. So we have the Electron source at the top, comes down into the chamber, and it's designed to be incredibly easy to use. So once we've got into the sample and we've got the preparation done a little bit, we're able to give it, basically just give control to you.
Yeah.
Through the wonders of Zoom, you can drive around, you can take your own images, you can do your own data collection. We'll guide you through the process, don't worry. I don't think you can crash this one. So it is free range.
Free range, let everybody have a go.
Yep, so we've already got our sample in, just make sure that it was all working fine.
Yeah.
So we can pop over into observation mode.
So
this is
this is the image that gets taken once we put the sample in the microscope. And yeah, we have a moth. There is a grey square because we've already taken an image just to check that all of the data is going to the right place so we can find it later. So yeah, so let's get started. Obviously, if you want us to go to a specific area, just drop in the chat or something, or just keep chatting if you feel like it. So
quick run through of what the user interface is. We have this little photograph that gets taken as we put the sample in. So this means that we can then find ourselves. So we can click on an area and it will drive there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that it's moving the stage. And this is a really good way to find yourself in your sample. It's taking sort of small images of very small things. It's really easy to get lost otherwise.
Yeah.
So we have, so we've got all our buttons at the top. So all the different things we can do. How fast or quick we want to do things. We can take photos. At the bottom, we've got all the conditions we're working at. So we've got SED stands for secondary electron.
So basically the electron is shooting down onto the sample and then bounces off basically, and then we collect that data, and then that produces a topographic image. So that's secondary, which is mainly what we're going to be doing today.
Yep. So we've got our sample coated in gold, which means that the other options are less useful. So BED stands for backscatter, and this is where we can start doing the composition analysis, which you can see that spectra running through on the side here.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Which will mainly just be
all gold.
carbon and gold because it's coated in gold and it's an organic material, so mainly carbon.
Yeah.
With
so
a few other things.
So we coat in gold to make sure the sample is nice and conductive.
Yeah.
If you put an electron beam onto a sample that isn't conductive, all those electrons build up in a process called charging, and that can make your colors go weird. It can make your image move.
It can make it fuzzy. Yeah, basically you want to dissipate out the electrons so it's an even layer, and so they can escape, so that you can produce these beautiful images.
The other things we've got our magnification. This will change and update as we zoom in and out. Our landing voltage is how many volts we're putting into the sample, so we can change that to other things.
Yeah.
So the amount of energy you put in can change how crisp your imaging is, so depending on what you want. There's different settings we use. WD is the working distance. You don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, it's just basically where the beam is focused to, what height.
Probe current, again, is just basically how many amps we're putting into the beam. So we've got lots of different modes that we can bounce between to get the things. High vacuum is basically we've got a conductive sample. We can have a better vacuum than we could have if we had a non-conductive sample.
Yes, so electron microscopes work at vacuum just because obviously you're putting electrons through it. So you want there to be no air in there just so you can get the crispest image. Because obviously if the electrons are interacting with the air and the molecules of the air in the chamber, then you're not going to get as good an image. So obviously you want it at vacuum.
And then up here we've got all other options. So the manual adjustment, this is where we get to fiddle around with the focus and all the other things to make sure that we get a nice crisp image. So we've got home off. If anyone in the chat has a preference about where we start, drop it in the chat. We'll have a check.
We shall go to an area we think is interesting.
Eyes. Let's find some eyes.
Eyes. Let's go.
So our moth is upside down.
It is upside down.
But so you can see as we zoom in, that magnification changes. And you can see at the moment as well, it's quite a fuzzy image. So what we can do is using our manual adjustment thing, there's this nice button here with an A on it, and that is for auto.
So the Microscope does it for you. It's very handy.
And it's normally pretty good at it.
Yeah.
So you can see it's just running through and already got a much crisper image.
You can see these things moving here. So that's just charging effects like with the electrons, and because those hairs are so small, it's just they're just fluttering around with the movement of the electrons. So that's quite cool.
So what we can do to fix that is we can reduce the probe current. With standard mode, and we can reduce the voltage as well. So every time you change conditions, the brightness and the contrast will change as well. So let's try it at 10 maybe. Might be a little bit kinder to this moth. It'd be a shame if we accidentally put holes in it. You can kind of see this little sort of bright splodge here, and those bands. That's also a charging effect. Coating 3D samples is really hard. Obviously the splatter coater cuts down as if it's like a 2D area, and obviously this is all curved. So that's going to be a 3D area. So there'll be areas where they're shadowed or it's not got quite so much gold on it. So at the moment we're in our quick scan speed. So the beam is moving quite quickly over the sample surface, and that gives you sort of a slightly lower resolution image. If we slow it down, we get a slower beam, and you can see that image runs through and it becomes much, much crisper. And that's actually pretty cool.
Nice.
I'll take a photo of that one.
There's still a bit of charging, but it's a lot better now.
That's pretty good. So you can see as that brightness is changing on the second scan through, that's just a charging effect. It's not too bad. 20 seconds, do you think? That seems pretty good.
Have a bit of look, see.
So this microscope can go up to about 100,000 times magnification. We found normally above 8,000, it gets a little bit shaky, and that's because we've got the turbo pump that runs the vacuum directly underneath it.
Which is constantly going, and it does cause a bit of vibration.
We'll wait for that one to save.
There we go.
And we can unfreeze, go back to the quick scan,
and then
and move around a bit faster, zoom in a bit more.
Zoom in a bit. See.
So that's 600 times magnification.
Going, and then there's going. What is that?
See how it can get to. Let's try an autofocus to 5,000 and see what happens. So if for whatever reason the autofocus doesn't quite work, or the auto stigma doesn't work, we can go in and fix it ourselves. But it's so much easier not having to. That's pretty good.
Oh wow.
Let's do a stigma as well, just in case.
So a stigma is where we're just adjusting the alignment of the beam. So rather than adjusting the image, it's just trying to make it so tighter beam like size as possible to get the best image.
And we'll slow that scan speed down.
What?
So it's chosen to focus on this back bit.
Yeah, because it's really what is that?
That's fine. We can change the focus so it focuses on the bit that we're interested in, which might be this front bit. That's a bit better.
Yeah, that's good.
It's still a little bit challenging, but that's fine. Yeah. Not too fussed about that. Let's take a photo
you
of that
can
as well,
see there. Well, I'm pointing at a screen that you can't see. Maybe.
Yeah, so you've got all these lines through here.
Yeah, there's also, you can see there's like some fuzzy lines on that, whatever that bit there's there. That's just the vibration.
Not sure I like the fact that moths have spikes on their eyes.
Yeah.
They've got all these like little like plates within the big plates, which I didn't realize. I assumed it would be like a single lens.
An eye. That's all I have on my diagram. Okay. Maybe I should research what this actually is when making the booklet.
75 times. I probably can't get that to focus. That's going to be, yeah. So you can see kind of here how the image has gone very wobbly. It's because, but now that we're really, really zoomed in, it's the vibrations of the turbo pump. Because if I thump the desk.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so SEM, because we're using electrons and they're very small and the resolution is so good, the slightest little vibration can really affect your images.
Yeah.
So actually building a lab to put an SEM in is quite a feat.
Yeah. They got quite sensitive. So rather than also with vibrations, they get quite sensitive with electrical cables. So we near them a magnetic field. So normally most of our microscopes have field cancellation around them. So there's no magnetic field causing issues.
So what I'm doing at the moment is just slowing scan speed down and manually just changing the focus a little bit to see if I can get a bit better.
Waves.
Yeah. I think we might just be a little bit.
Yeah, you can see.
It's a little bit too zoomed in for now.
Yeah. But we've also got building work going on, which is probably also causing some issues.
I didn't realize it was plates within plates though.
No, I knew they had like the weird curvy.
Yeah. It's really cool though.
Yeah.
Right, nice images. I think there's like a good bit. Try and get like a side view.
Side on.
So I quite like the NeoScope just because I can get like some nice arty images.
Yeah.
It's nice things for like banners and sort of like.
That's cool. They having it focused at the front.
Yeah.
Blurring out.
These are really cool. Surprisingly dusty as well. Every time we take a photo, we take all our hands off the desk just in case.
Yeah. A number of times I have ruined an image because I've slipped and rocked the desk. Occupational hazard. Yes.
So I said we can give control over to any of you during this. So just plonk it in the chat as and when you want to have a go, and we can let you drive around. You can't crash this.
Nothing will go wrong. We'll explain everything as we go, and we can give you hints and tips.
This one's designed to be incredibly user-friendly.
Yeah.
All
the buttons are really big because the screen that we're using is touchscreen, so it's designed to be as easy accessible as possible.
No, it's very good. So we were able to take the NeoScope out to Truro for an event for companies, and it was, once we got it set up and running again, the guys there were able to very quickly get on board with it and get using it.
Yeah.
Very straightforward. We've got a conference in July that we're taking it to.
Yeah, we've got a schools event that we're taking it to in July because that's what we would like to do now that COVID is slowly getting a bit easier to control.
Yeah.
We want to be able to take this out so that if you can't get access to the internet, people can see microscopy live on the road.
Yeah.
Get out and about and give everybody a chance to control, maybe put in their own samples. Just make electron microscopy accessible to everybody because this can be like a weird mystery to a lot of the world sometimes.
It's a bit of an esoteric sort of science.
Yeah.
And it's hard to imagine until you can actually see it happening.
Yeah. It's always quite funny when people ask what my job is. I'm like, an electron microscopy technician. They're like, what is electron microscopy? To go through explain it all. It's always fun. And it also means I have had to learn how to say microscopy because
I still can't type it right first time around. I always go for microscopy.
I always struggle with the word to say for some reason. Is that a mouth?
Yeah. I don't frame that nicely for like a nice picture.
Yeah. Looks like there's loads of pollen.
Yeah. I find it quite upsetting, to be honest. Not a huge fan. They like butterflies and everything, but I don't think I ever need to see them this close up.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like pollen on its tongue, which has a proboscis.
Oh, proboscis?
Yeah, that's
I remember that one.
Yeah, I did research that. I knew that they had a fancy name.
Should we have a look at like this eye fluff before we move over?
Eye fluff. Also, please stop us or switch us or make us move somewhere else if you want us to move. This is designed for you guys to all enjoy as well, not just us to have a bit of a play around.
Yeah. The benefit of having this in the lab is that we can just play with it a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, if there's things that you want to look at, let us know and we'll make sure that we do it. Did you go to a wing next? Absolutely.
Yes, of course.
Good choice, left wing or right wing?
Or the forewing or the hind wing. So the top or the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we had to do some panic Googling this morning. We suddenly realised we didn't know any insect words.
Yes.
Quite straw-like, actually, isn't it?
It kind of looks like feathers. And
Yeah.
then like straw.
Nice and crisp.
Oh, that's funky texture.
Yeah.
Now it looks like grass.
So if you showed that to me, I wouldn't immediately assume moth.
No. That's always the joy of looking at things really up close. They always it looks so different.
Yeah. Should say as well, we do have a wasp. If you get bored of moths, just let us know. Which one do you fancy?
Yeah, that one. Yeah. So this wasp is not from anywhere in particular. It got into the lab about a week ago, buzzed around, annoyed us, and then the next week I found it dead on the floor. So
then repurpose the science.
Yeah, this normally happens like if we find insects or stuff on the floor or around. It's a great way to introduce people. So when I first got the job, me and one of our colleagues, Glenn, we went out, just picked up a load of plants and some insects that we found flying around, and gave me a chance to just mess with some of the microscopes, looking at some.
That's very hairy.
Yeah. And they're made of scales. Wings and lots of scales.
So this sort of light grey bit in the background that you can see, that's just the back of the pin stub that this guy's stuck on.
It's very
fun texture in there, though.
That's so cool. Yeah, to take a high resolution image, that could be quite fun.
Yeah. Zoom into the sky. Is it a real feature or is it just wobbles?
No, it looks like this now.
Yeah. That's pretty fun.
Oh, I like that.
That's nice.
Although the tips kind of look like webbed feet, like a duck or a penguin.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know what I expected moth scales to look like, to be honest.
No, I don't think I've ever seen them.
No, came in here with no expectations. As always, we are partnered with Joel. They're very kindly letting us do this, and they're supporting us with all our endeavours. We're working on getting basically our own set of merch that we can start giving away with prizes and start giving away at events as well.
Yeah, we've started planning. I have so many ideas for stickers and postcards.
Yeah, we're very excited about it. We're really grateful that they're supporting us through this.
Yeah.
And we get to play around with the NeoScope, which is great.
Yeah.
It's not. I assumed they'd all be kind of even, but there's a lot of variation in size, and these guys are smooth.
Huh. How strange.
I think there's been that one's fallen off. So
yeah, you can see where they've started to.
Yeah.
Okay, I keep pointing at the screen, realizing that no one else apart from Jen can actually see what I'm pointing at.
I'll follow your finger with the mouse.
Yeah.
It's just running the autofocus, and you see it up here.
Yeah, so it's like those one of the veins of the wing.
Yeah.
Where it's starting to fall apart. Oh, some charging.
So this kind of white splotch in here, that's charging effect. So it probably just means that the gold coating has just fallen off a little bit there. And maybe a case of something used to be there and has fallen off since, and now that bit has been sort of revealed that wasn't present in carbon coating.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Let that save.
Does anybody have any pressing desire to go anywhere else? Any other parts of the moth?
Let's try and find the edge of the wing. Where does it go? Oh, there we are.
Yeah. Ooh.
Remarkably hairy.
Changed again.
The tongue did look terrifying.
Terrifying.
We will save this photo and then we'll go back to it
yeah.
because I can't wait to never sleep again.
Yeah. Sometimes things up close are very
Worse, sometimes things should not be seen so close up.
no. Spiders' faces. For one.
Oh, see, I don't mind spiders as much.
I don't mind spiders, but their faces, like when you're up close and you can see their mouth.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
I'm trying to think what else I've looked at that's been weird and
Like the bee was quite cute before it fell
Yeah.
apart.
yeah, but that was quite old, so it got very dry.
Yeah. Yeah, there is unfortunately a shelf life with some insects. Right.
Let's go back.
So you can see how it's everywhere we've taken a photo, it saves that. So you can find it again in future.
Yeah,
Which
you
is
can see where the image registration is also slightly off because that's where the edge
Yeah.
of the wing is there. Is there.
which is fine.
That's fine. Sometimes that happens. Oh.
So especially with moths that are so light, there's a little bit of movement that happens when you take the air out of the vacuum chamber.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like it, Lorelei. That wasn't the focus, that's the ACB, but it's fine, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Then we'll do the focus. Oh, you know, like the Sarlacc in Star Wars.
Yeah, I was just about to
Yeah.
make that comparison.
Nice image though.
Yeah.
Slow down, see how we're doing
Yeah.
focus wise.
I like the pollen. Sizing quite nicely because we did pollen. Was pollen last month?
Yeah.
Yeah, pollen was last month. Sorry, so much has happened in the last month. Yeah, that's
So last month, it turns out we lied because we said this would be that would be the last time we were in this corner, and yeah, here we are again.
yep. We like
Next
this one.
month, next month, hopefully we'll be over by a window, which would be nice.
Yeah, I have
Um,
more space.
yeah.
The
Is that-
spike, the spiky things are
Oh,
strange. I know that's what it's designed for. Like
Yeah.
it goes out so it can grab the pollen,
have a look at that pollen though.
Yeah.
That's quite a good angle.
see what pollen it is.
I think you drastically overestimate how good I am at identifying pollen.
Oh no, I'm not going to be able to identify it either. But
I could probably recognize lemon tree now after last month, but that might be about
Like,
it.
yeah, lemon. What the ones that I furiously edited afterwards
Yeah.
because they were very pretty, and then I got a little bit obsessed with editing SEM photos.
I could recognize bay tree again because that was very round.
They're
Oh,
very
that
round.
was a big charge. Two different types in there.
Yeah, at least. Ooh.
I feel like this Velcro sort of situation has got going on works.
Yeah. Very effective. Very
I'm
fun.
safely saying none of that is lemon tree pollen.
No.
That I am confident about.
Yeah, I don't know. That's cool. And this one kind of looks like, I can't remember what they're called, but the balls that you could like when you were a kid that you could squish and then they could turn into a frisbee. And then with like
Yes.
a sucker thing on the inside and you could
Yeah.
spin it like a frisbee, but it never actually worked long enough. It would just turn like they're always on the adverts, it's like you could throw it and it would like pop up in midair and you'd squish it down
Yeah.
and immediately put back up again. Or you'd strap your finger in it.
Yeah. Also, you can see how that image was shifted quite a lot as we slowed the scan speed down. That's a charging effect.
Yeah.
If we're quick, might want to get a photo before it wanders off the screen.
Oh, that. Oh.
Maybe not. I take it back. You can kind of see in the background, especially, it's quite warped. So that just basically,
Yeah, you can see this was quite round and the shape now.
Oh, it still fits though.
It still fits,
Still
but you could
fits.
just kind of see
Yeah.
where it's
Let's say if I unfreeze it, I guarantee it'll be somewhere completely different.
moved all the way up now.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah, so that's that image drift that we're talking about. You can see it actually like going for a wander.
Yeah.
It's fine. So it's quite, again, like I said earlier, it's quite hard to coat a 3D sample, and that
Yeah.
coating does wear off over time as
Yeah.
they're moved, as they move between different microscopes, etc.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to look at like spiky chomper bits, aren't we? That's very chargy. We'll zoom out.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can mitigate charge by changing operating conditions. You can take images further out.
Yeah. This also has a vacuum mode that is charge compensation. So
yeah,
it will put a little bit of air back into the chamber, which will help mitigate, reduce how much electron beams actually hit the sample. So you're less likely to get charging.
Unfortunately, that does mean then we can't do secondary electron imaging in that charge reduction mode. You can do something that's similar, but it's not quite as good.
Yeah, it is very handy for, say, you have samples that you can't coat, because sometimes we get samples that we can't coat with anything conductive because they're powders and they don't like to be coated, or they're samples that are really precious, so you don't want to coat them because they're like very precious samples.
That's pretty cool.
It's very cool.
Let's get like right in its bits.
Mm.
Oh, that's a chargy bit. We'll avoid the chargy bit.
Yeah, try and get some.
And that's very 3D. I'm going to wonder where it thinks I want the focus to be.
Yeah.
And see if I agree with it. Wait, that will run through.
Oh, that's
a lot of charging.
Yeah.
Which I guess because it's all like curled in on itself.
Yeah, that's an area where it's really
lovely. That's not too bad though.
Yeah,
see how that goes.
That one. A bit arty because you have a ball. It's going to be out of focus. Lots of different textures there as well.
Those girls are quite similar to the ones they have on their wings. They've got like the little duck foot pattern.
Funky.
Yeah. Anywhere that you'd like to look at? Because I'm tempted to look at its belly. Because it's hairy.
And then like down.
Oh, we could go to the legs. Find a moth foot, I guess.
See what they look like.
So I've done like a lot of imaging myself for fun of bee hair. So I'm intrigued to see how moth hair is different in autofocus.
Because bee hair kind of, in some areas, looks like wheat and hay, and in other areas it's got little spikes on it.
It looks like rosemary.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Which is very endearing. Yeah, intrigued to see if like moth hair is similar.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it is actually. It's much straighter and like it hasn't got the fronds.
It looks like grass.
Yeah, it does. It does. And the focus now that we zoomed in. So getting the focus right is the key part of electron microscopy. You want to make sure that your beam is as good as possible for the image you're trying to collect or the data that you want. If your image is out of focus, that means your beam's out of focus. So if you're trying to do chemical analysis, you're not collecting data from the area that you want. It's spread over an area, which sometimes can be useful if you're dealing with things that are very beam sensitive, so they don't like being exact with 15,000 volts. You can sort of defocus the beam and get an average composition. That's not the best way to go about it. So we try and make sure that the focus is as good as we can for what we're trying to get. A little bit more leeway in secondary electron because we can be a bit more creative with it and generate some like arty photos. Which is what we do for Microscopy Live. We're not using this data for science or anything. We're doing this for fun and for outreach.
And education,
Yeah. So not like bee hair at all.
No. See if I can get a picture of bee hair and put it in the booklet so you can see the comparison.
Should we find a leg?
A leg, yes.
That's a leg.
I want to see a moth.
Oh, I could do the antenna later as well because they're up there. Oh, even the legs are hairy. Oh.
It looks like the scales from there.
Yeah. I wonder if the hair on the wasp would be more like bee hair.
Intrigued. I'm going to pick it up like I'm going to be able to tell.
I know. It's possible to use the low pressure mode on this sample because of the charging effect. It is possible, but we would lose secondary electron. So there is, I'll zoom out a little bit and give you an example. So in these assorted BED modes, this is all backscatter electron detector. We have C for compo, T for topography, S for shadows. So typically for
it's a shadow or topography normally.
We can change it a little bit. See if we can just sort of like reduce, or like get a slightly crisper image.
Or-
Yeah. So you can see even if we do an autofocus, it won't be as good as secondary electrons.
Yeah.
Just because it's not designed to look at the topography, it's looking at composition, and it's reconstructing a topographic image from that pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's not quite as good. And you can see the autofocus takes a bit longer on this one, because it's got more to try and do. So like it's still a pretty decent image.
Yeah.
Um,
I like how it's quite grainy.
Obviously I don't.
No, because I know it's not like going to be the same as secondary, but it's still it's quite cool.
Like it is pretty
coming
good.
from a photographic.
Yeah. Like the secondary mode, the backscatter shadow mode on this is pretty decent. But secondary electron is best if you can get it to work. If you can get it.
The moth hair is sete, singular, seta. They use it to keep warm, like we use our hats. That's cool.
That's quite cute.
Thank you for the fact there. Though I probably said the names wrong. I'm really bad at pronouncing things. Sete.
I think. I say that with a lot of confidence. As someone who only does Latin in choir music.
Yeah.
A little bit. Be a nice photo. Hairy leg. We try and find a moth foot.
Moth foot, yes.
So now we've got wasp feet. Nice. So back in quick mode. So you can drive around in slow mode as well. It just takes longer for the image to load in.
A foot.
Oh, moth foot. Oh, his little toes. That's the ACB again. I wanted contract focus. It's just rookie error. See where I think I want the focus to be. It's not really good actually. A little bit charged. We'll zoom out a little bit and like maybe reduce that charging a bit. I can get on board with that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Little toes.
His legs aren't actually on. I obviously chose a wrong diagram. There's no legs on it.
Well, on the wasp diagram, they're just legs. So I'm glad that that's at least carried across.
They have special names. Oh, but that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's just where the leg is related on the rest of the animal.
Yeah.
I guess I've got like the little hooks that like other like spiders and things have.
Yeah, so they can
I wonder if
look like they climb up walls.
Yeah, on the other legs there's like a slightly less chargy foot.
Maybe. Maybe because it's like underneath the wing. Underneath on top of the wing, and the wing behind it. It's not quite separated.
That's pretty good. Oh, it's got claws.
You know how they stay in place.
Yeah.
Upright.
Focus from here. We'll take a photo.
Yeah.
What time are we on?
We are 11:37.
Be like 20 minutes of what?
Yeah.
Unless anyone in the chat has a strong preference to stay on moths.
I should probably put my gloves back
Oh,
on.
I can change over.
Oh, do you want to change it?
I've got gloves on.
Yeah, I have to take mine off. Making my hands itchy.
So because for the NeoScope we have to physically open the front of the microscope to change samples, we always wear gloves. We wear gloves for all of our instruments. But when you're putting your hands inside the sample chamber, it's important to make sure that nothing else gets in apart from what you want in there.
Yeah, I suppose I can hold the camera so we can have a look inside.
Oh, I've actually just made it very chargy by taking a photo off. My bad.
Oh wow.
I'm just determined to get one knife moth photo, like one good foot. If I like rotate it a little bit, that might help.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit better. Do a focus. Nice. Nice. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, pretty good.
I feel victorious.
Success.
Nice. Let that save.
It is also congratulated. Right.
Right, sample change. Sample change NeoScope, very straightforward. We go back to our specimen exchange and we just hit the vent button.
Yes.
You might be able to hear in the background how everything's just gone.
On,
Yeah.
so see.
But from our point of view, everything in the background's gone very quiet because everything has stopped, pretty much.
Just gonna. I need to see where the camera is going because I want to stop sharing. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna.
So a little GoPro moment. At some point, we will get an actual GoPro.
Yeah, this works quite well. So yeah, this is our microscope with the toy version of the microscope.
This is Nanomarican. He is the Joel NeoScope mascot for this little guy. There was a previous one. So we're very lucky that we got the first Nanomarican in the UK. We have another one as well who comes out to field with us. So we have photos of the other one in a field in Shropshire when we went meteorite hunting. And he just sort of follows us around the lab.
Yeah. Okay. Right now.
Mostly for like emotional
So
support.
this is what the how we change the sample. So that's the chamber in there. That's the muff and the
Very
sample.
straightforward.
Just
We twist it out.
spin. Put it out.
And pop over.
You can see our messy
Our secret notes.
secret notes.
This guy up.
Yeah, he's quite delicate, so be careful. And oh yeah, also not. There was no screw.
Oh, he's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Wasp.
The wasp.
So I should say these little black holders. These are all 3D printed by our colleague Alex, who is upstairs currently. And what that means for us is that we can basically have personalized sample holders.
So they're all of the weird and wonderful things that we get in here. Just
it just saves us a lot of time, and then we do close it up. Begin. And now I just hold it shut until the turbo comes back on.
So yeah, I think let's share the screen so you can see what's going on the screen. Yeah, you can see
We've got a new reference image.
Hopefully that's there we go. See, oh, that's made quite big.
You can zoom in a little bit on this.
Yeah.
So we've got the eye here. We've got that's the antenna. Should be able to get some nice wing photos, and this one sort of like razzle dazzle leg.
Yeah.
So going through the top there. That's the little turbo.
There, this wheel here is just showing
That's the big
what
turbo.
degree of vacuum.
Now I can let go.
Yeah.
So the NeoScope holds its door shut by the vacuum inside of it.
Yeah.
Which is actually very useful. So if the vacuum isn't good enough and you let go, it will open the door for you and you can start again. But it is actually quite a good way of finding out how good your vacuum is. Very straightforward to use. I very much enjoy it.
So like that.
So easy to turn off and on again as well. Where should we go first, do you think?
I want to look at the sting.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. What we can do is we can zoom in and we can preemptively.
Oh, or is the sting covered by the wing?
Next, it curls around.
Oh yeah, it does curl around.
So we can preemptively move it to the right point. You can see where the observation area is by this crosshair and this green box. So once it's finished pumping down, we can move on to the observation stage.
Yeah, it should switch to that automatically.
Yep.
Automatically, using my words.
And it will do all its automatic corrections itself. So it'll do the auto contrast brightness, it'll do the focus, it'll do the stignation, make sure that it's happy with itself.
Yeah.
And then we can take control again.
Yeah.
Nearly there.
Observation conditions are applied. Autofocus, interesting. So yeah, it's just preparing for observation now.
Ta-da.
Ta-da! Okay, I'm
Right,
on
you're
this side,
driving
so
now.
I'm driving. I don't think this dude has a sting.
Oh, it may have fallen out. See, that's more like bee hair.
Yeah. Right, let's focus.
I think there's like a proper name for hair, or is it just hair?
I don't know. There might be. There must be. Everything has a proper
Yeah.
fancy name.
I'm a geologist, so if it's not a rock, I don't know.
Or is it this thing here?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Is that hole where the sting was? Quite possibly.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna. Let's just focus again. Yeah.
If it is, it means it's somewhere in the lab.
Yeah. Probably in my desk because this has been sitting in a petri dish with Descant in my desk for the last week. Yeah, no, that's just like stuff.
Yeah.
So that probably was where the sting was. That's a bit sad. Well, let's just focus then, take a photo. And then we'll, if anybody has any preference on where to go, we will control, or you can control. So,
like I was saying, this has been kept in desiccant since we found it.
Yeah.
So you can't really put wet things into an electron microscope because under vacuum, water does horrible things to it. You can't get a good vacuum. The beam doesn't like it. So what we do is we make sure, like insects and things, they are dehydrated. For other stuff, we do have a Cryo Sem system. And basically, we dunk everything into a liquid nitrogen slush, which is super, super cold. And then we keep it cold whilst we do the analysis. We do that when we're looking at food samples. So ice cream and milk have been our personal favorites. Cheese is pretty good as well.
Yep.
But for the most part, everything needs to go into an SEM should be dry.
Right. Does anybody?
Wasp foot.
Wasp
That's
foot,
pretty
okay.
good.
Let's go.
Oh, do wasp feet.
Well,
good deal.
Let's go arty and try and get this one in focus. Wrong way. Oh, there's. I don't know what I'm doing. Right, there we go. See where it wants to focus.
Yeah, that's pretty decent.
I think it wants to focus in the right place.
Yeah.
See.
It's covered in dust.
Yeah. That is
That's
exactly
nice.
what I wanted it to focus, how it wanted it to focus. So well
Very
done,
nice.
NeoScope, for reading my mind.
Yeah. I was impressed by this little box. The NeoScope does most of the things that our big microscopes can do. There are some limitations to it, so it's not a replacement for a full-size microscope.
No.
But it is a really good little machine. I'm very taken with it.
Yeah. Right. That. No. Quick.
Just covered in so much gunk.
Yeah.
Have a look at the wings and do like a nice little comparison.
Yeah, we can do a comparison of the wings. That'd be a good way to set out the booklet. It's just comparison of wing of wasp versus moth wing. Because there's a winner. No, there you go. Didn't do it properly. Let's have. I'm gonna have to refocus this because it's for them.
So for a lot of work we do as geologists, we're using bits of rock that have been polished flat because we're interested in what chemicals
Is
they
its
are.
tongue also out after the wing?
We will find out.
We can definitely go find out. Ooh.
Yeah, so for what me and Lorelei do, a lot of the time we don't have to refocus as much, but because it's a 3D sample, you have to refocus every time.
Yeah, because obviously the working distance, it says where it's the beam is focused, and that is set at a specific height. And if you're looking at a 3D sample, the way you want to focus changes height, so you have to change the focus to compensate for that. Which
that looks
fairly normal.
That looks more like a bee.
That is very hairy. Don't really know what else to say. See, I wouldn't expect it to be spiky or hairy like that because it's so shiny as a wing.
Oh, that's only because I've looked at bee wings quite close up. They are. Yeah, insects surprisingly hairy.
I suppose most things up close probably quite hairy.
Yeah.
Like, living wise.
Yeah, just take a look at its face and do like an eye comparison as well.
Yes. I think they also have the same kind of something.
I think there's like plates within plates.
Yeah, compound eye, something
Yeah.
like that.
Compound eyes.
That quicker. I know
Let's
that's
go to space. We've got a few minutes left.
yeah, so I just want to. Oh yeah, we have. Wow.
Fish microscopy live. I get so into it.
Yeah. Lose track of time. Do this and then we'll go towards the face, see the eye and the tongue, because Katie would like to see the tongue.
We'll do our best. So this one's on its side, so the muffler's on its back,
Yeah.
which is very good at like seeing all like its face bits. So this one's on its side, so it might be
Right, let's go.
held under itself.
Let's go. You might be a little bit shy and have a leg over its face. So there's an antenna.
It's got like his little like snippy bits.
Look at this. Let's focus this and see what we can see. Oh, where is that? That's focused.
Right through onto the other side. That's really
Yeah.
cool,
No, that's the wrong thing. This way.
though. Other way.
Other way. Massively the other way. Don't know how good that is.
Pretty good.
Yeah, not too bad.
And very hairy.
Yeah. So yeah, we can kind of see his mouth. I don't know if we can see the tongue, but we can take this picture and then we can move.
Yeah. I think because it's on its side, it's a little bit harder to deal with space.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mounted it on its side just so you can see a bit more of what's there.
A little bit less rolly as well because they curl up on themselves.
Yeah.
So this guy is stuck down onto the gold stud, I think using some
Yeah, silver paint.
silver paint.
Yeah.
Again, nice and conductive, dries really hard.
Yeah.
So this is on there forever now.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Definitely the same kind of eyes as moth.
Covered in dust though.
Been in my desk for a week, that's why. I did find it on the floor as well. So.
Very nice.
Yeah. Zoom in.
That's very satisfying.
That is very hexagonal.
You want to focus around? Yeah. Or I might actually just spin it slightly so we
Yeah.
get like.
Have it so it's yeah.
Ooh. No, that didn't help at all. It's straight enough, I think, to be like satisfying. You start seeing some of the texture in the eyes.
Yeah. See if it looks the same as the
See if we've
moth.
got those little hairs between them as well.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. But the hexagons were
cool.
too satisfying not to
They
take a
are.
picture of.
You know, sometimes nature gets it right, and getting it right is just hexagons, it seems.
Yeah. No, it's still.
Make sure I've got my hands off the bench just in case.
Oh. Yeah, keep leaning.
It's really hard not to, but then every now and again I try and take a nice photo.
Yeah, I've been standing up for an hour, so my knees starting to
Yeah.
hurt now. That is not one to focus.
That's fine. That's what we're for.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no.
We're quite zoomed in as well, so it might be. Fair enough.
Thing is, I keep doing this and then I can't remember which way I was scrolling to get it to the right zoom. Oh, yeah, and you can see where I keep putting my arm down. That's better. I just needed restigmatizing. Let's just. I don't want to spend too long doing this because we're near the end, so I think that's as best as we're going to get it.
Probably. Otherwise, it's different to the moth eye, right? At least.
Yeah.
We've got maybe sort of 2-3 minutes left. If anyone's got any last minute requests,
Let us know.
We'll grab a gander.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same
Yeah.
thing. I am in control of the mouse, this thing. There was something there.
Yeah, there's like a little spiky bit on the
Yeah.
moth.
We go onto the main body. Yes, we can.
Let's do a hair by hair comparison.
Hair by hair. Let's go. Out. Main body.
I'm trying to get like the leg joint.
The leg joint. Okay.
That's fun. In my head, it was always bees are hairy, wasps are not. Turns out every insect is hairy.
Every insect is hairy. This looks very hairy.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Nice. Let's go.
Zooming onto that fluff.
No.
Less straw-like than the moth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Looks like there is some texture. We'll see it when it's finished focusing.
Pretty good.
Yeah, front bits are out of focus, but that's fine. Everything else is.
Yeah, it's kind of sort of stripy, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool.
We're just gonna have a collection of loads of different animal hairs because we've had reindeer hair, we've done dogs,
Horses, sheep, cats, wolves, tigers,
moths, bees. Although it's probably not considered hair, but just have a collection of hairy animals. Reindeer, how did you get that?
Dartmoor Zoo.
Yes. We got donated quite a few samples from Dartmoor Zoo, so I think we got a wolf from there as well.
Yep.
Yeah. I think we have tiger hair in the lab.
We do.
From Dartmoor Zoo. So maybe we should do just a animal hair one at some point.
We have.
We did do that one.
Yeah, we did direct cat to tiger comparisons, which was pretty good fun.
Yeah, that was, and dog to wolf.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
Really highlighted the fact that my dog just needed a bath. It was so gross.
Yeah, I don't know.
We find one final cool thing to look at.
One final cool thing.
We can
Might finish on time again.
Yep. As a reminder, the summary booklet will be sent around as soon as we can. There'll be a link to the quiz in that one.
Yep.
And you'll be able to get all our prizes. So again, you've got all our branded goodies. There's a load of Joel branded stuff as well. Hopefully soon we'll be able to have special Microscopy live stuff as well.
Yeah.
Which will be exciting for us. Get some t-shirts, we can match.
Yep.
Get some branded masks, so we can really match. It's so hairy. Why?
protection.
Once again, big thanks to Paul and Ice for letting us use their samples for this.
Yeah.
Thank you to Joel for sponsoring us. Thank you for you guys for registering and turning up.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoy it as much as we enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
That's so hairy.
Yeah. And we will be back next month to look at leaves. I was about to say bees. No, leaves.
Yep, so next month I am taking samples from my different bonsai trees. Finally finding a use for all my houseplants.
Yeah.
So hopefully it should be really fun.
Yeah.
And next time we'll be in the other corner of the lab.
The other corner.
We will move this.
Different view of PNC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So any final questions? If not, we will let you go to lunch and get on with your days.
Yeah. Stop sharing. Cool.
Thank you very much for coming.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Have a good afternoon, everyone. We'll be in touch soon, and we'll be in touch with Susan Girdwood very quickly to send her prize off to her. It's very exciting for us.
Yeah.